Hey, welcome to Taylor's Trick Taking Table. I'm Table, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know we love special months. We've been doing months for years on the channel, whether it's covering only animal games in a month or Taiki Shinzawa in a month. This month is special because not just we are having a special month called Trick Takeuary for trick taking games in February, but 3 other channels are covering trick taking games this entire month. We have Jay at Cardboard East, Candace, Board Game Geek, and Jenna at Board Game Garden. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. We're going to have, I believe, a day of trick-taking videos or shorts or something each day in February, or should I say Trick Takeuary. It is also going to culminate on a very surprise special video of all of us together coming up soon. I don't know if it's announced or not, but yes, I'll have links in the description to all their channels, and I cannot wait. I obviously love trick-taking games, so just having a whole month across multiple channels with so many amazing people, I cannot wait. What a wonderful way to kick off Trick Takeuary by covering 2 games that were at Indie Game Night Market at PAX Unplugged last December. So if you don't know, I'm doing a game market at Dice Tower West called Game Market Vegas, where there's going to be, again, trick-taking games, other types of games, and we're holding it Thursday and Saturday at Dice Tower West. So please come down. I've been looking at some of the submissions and they have been awesome. I'll have a wild game there. I have friends who have wild games there, trick-taking games, because it is Trick Takeuary. We'll be there. Come on down. To show evidence that there are amazing indie games coming out, especially indie trick-taking games coming out. These are 2 of them that were, again, at Indie Game Night Market. We have Torchlit by David Spalinski, which I believe is actually being sold by Little Dog. I'll double check. I'll have links in the description if that is true. And also Draught by John Simitoff. And the wonderful things about these are, again, this just shows the creativity and the interesting games that can come out of something like an indie game market. So the hooks, well, we have Torchlit, where the hook is you're gonna pick a card at the start of the round that has a number on it. A lot of cards have numbers on them. That will be where you want to kind of get your adventurer to. You are in a dungeon, if you couldn't tell by this wonderful, amazing art. You are in a dungeon, and every time you win a trick, or if you play the same number as someone who won a trick, you're going to move your adventurer forward. And you're going to try to land on that spot that matches the number of the card you put down. But at the very end, you also have a chance to swap it. So it's kind of like bid as you go, or kind of bid at the start and bid at the end, which is actually very different. I don't think I've ever seen something quite like this. So there's bidding at the start of a hand, bidding as you go, and this is bid at the start and at the end. Very fascinating. But also, the really clever twist is whoever plays the lowest gets to choose what cards, usually, go and give points to certain numbers. I don't know if I'm quite making sense, but if you play low, you kind of choose what gets points, and if you play high, you win a trick and move your adventurer forward, which is usually what you want to do because you're trying to hit a certain goal. I don't know if I did that right, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous game with some really interesting, wild mechanics in it. So we'll go to the table and teach you that. Then we have Draft Trick by John. So this one is, it says, card drafting trick-taking game. Imagine it is like 7 Wonders trick-taking. And I mean that in just the draft. Or Sushi Go. You know, whatever you want to, whatever draft game you are familiar with. But essentially, you are going to get a random bid, maybe like 3, 4, 0, or whatever it may be. And then you are going to be dealt a hand of cards. You're going to pick one, pass the rest. And then you're going to get some, pick one, pass the rest. You're going to essentially draft a whole hand of cards. Then you're going to play trick-taking. And what's wild is you're also going to pick at the last 2 cards you get. One of them is going to be part of your submission for what trump may be. But then also the other card in the final 2 in the draft is going to be what you will play at the end. Wild. But so you are essentially drafting your hand to try to hit your bid. Wackiness, super quick. It is a super fascinating, very quick game. But that is Draft Trick and Torchlit. We're going to go to the table and show you how these play. But first, again, I'm so excited for Trick-Takeywary. It's just gonna be so much fun. Hopefully doing some shorter videos. I know this intro doesn't help because of the short month and because trying to do a fair amount of videos this month to celebrate such a wonderful month. So thanks so much to Candace, Jenna, and Jay. Oh, it's gonna be a hoot. All right, catch you later. The deck in Torchlit is made up of 7 suits numbered 0 through 7. If you're playing 4 or 5, you're gonna include everything. But if you're playing with 3 players, you're actually gonna remove 1 suit from the game. That can't be red because red is trump, and all the 7s from the game. Here we have a game of Torchlit set up for 3 players. So at 4 or 5 players, you would have a 7 over here, and you'd have more cards in the deck, but we have 3 players set up. So you're gonna line up from 0 to the 6, or the 7, this dungeon here, and then you're gonna put all the player little meeples over on the 0. And then everyone's going to get a token to remind everyone who they are. And then also this is going to go to the player who leads the first trick in the round. At the very start of the round, players are going to look through their hand of cards, and they're going to light their torch. What this means is they're essentially just going to bid on where they think their adventure is going to line up on. So if I look at my hand here, I don't have any trump, which is the red, so maybe I don't think I'm going to go that far. But also, I can still move in the game. I'm still able to move through a lot of cool techniques. So maybe I think I'm going to get to a 3. So I'm going to take this 3 here. I'm going to put it face down. I've lit my torch. Everyone else is also going to do that with a card. And then after that happens, the lead player is going to lead into the trick. The purple player fittingly led a purple, and it is must follow. So coming to the red barbarian player, they're going to play that 3 there, and then this blue player here has to play the 6 because it is must follow. So highest of the lead suit is going to win because there's no trump, and the player who played the lowest gets to choose which of every suit gets to be added as scoring to the dungeon. So how that works is you're going to look at all the cards in every suit that gets added. Since there's only 1 suit here, super simple, they are going to only be able to pick 1 card from here. So this player over here could add the 3, the 5, or the 6. Notice they wanted the 3, so they are going to add the 3 underneath here. What that does is it essentially adds a point to any of the adventurers who make it to the 3rd spot. Then they're going to discard the rest of the trick, and actually the person who played the lowest is going to lead to the next trick. In addition to the lowest played player being able to add a certain number of cards up here for the scoring, the winner of the trick and anyone who played the same number as the winner is going to move their meeple forward into the dungeon. So the blue player is going to move in there. If this player over here off-suited a 6 as well, they would also move forward, but they didn't. So this would clean up, and the player who played the lowest, which was the 3 over here, would lead to the next trick. So maybe they play purple. And since it's must fall and this player can play whatever they want, oh, no, they have a player, they have a purple, they're gonna have to play it. Coming over here, this player actually doesn't have a purple, and they can play whatever they want. So maybe they play this too. So they trumped in, so they're going to win the trick and move forward. So they're gonna just do that now. But again, the lowest played player is going to add cards to the scoring here. So again, you have to look at all the suits. So this one has to go no matter what because it's the only card in that suit. So it's going to go up here. But this player over here gets to choose between the 1 and the 0. Maybe since they're at the 0 spot, they're like, okay, sure, I'll choose the 0 to make that worth points. And then they are going to lead to the next trick. One thing to note, even though the game is must follow, for the most part, whenever a trump card is led, the dragon suit, the following players may follow any card they want, even if they do have a dragon card. So like if this was the blue player's hand, they don't have to play this. They could play whatever they want. Let's say this person led purple again. So this person is finally short suit. They're going to play a 3 in the dragon. And then the purple player over here, they play a 3 in the orange suit. So what's interesting here is the blue player wins with a 3. So they're going to move forward into the dungeon. But this player over here played the same number as the winner. So they're also going to move into the dungeon. So in addition, the player who played the lowest gets to add cards. But there's a special thing here where if every suit is present, this player gets to choose what gets added or not added, including 0. So they could say nothing gets added. Or they could choose any combination. So again, they care about the 3, so they're going to add 3 and a 3, and then not add the 2. They're kind of showing their hand there a little bit, but that is awesome because now the 3 is worth a ton of points. And then again, they are going to lead. So they are thankfully out of purple, so they can't keep doing that. But the flow is going to continue on and on and on. Couple of notable things. If it was like this, where the lowest, maybe it looked like this, was a tie here. Notice how they both played zeros. The later player would be the one to add monsters. So this player over here would choose which of these two to get added, because again, if there's only one of one suit, it has to get added unless they're all different suits, which is that edge case there. So maybe they add that one there, and then that player would lead after the player played the 6 does move forward. If you are ever over here and you move forward again, you're going to just loop around to the 0 spot. And so players are going to keep playing this until they get near the end where they have 1 card left. When that happens, players are actually going to take the card that they chose at the start and put it into their hand. They have flexibility at the end to be able to play either card. It becomes a may follow technically in the very last trick, to play either card as their final card in the trick and then keep the last one for their bid. So for example, let's say it looked like this, and this player is actually thinking, oh, well, I can't get the 3 anymore because I went way past it. Let me actually play the 3 into the final trick. And if they win, it goes there and oh, they hit their bid. Wonderful. So let's talk how the scoring works. So let's say it looked like this, and players at the end had those as their bids, and that's where they were. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip over your bid and see if you hit the spot that you bid. So the red player did hit the spot that they bid, which was the 5. The blue player over here bid a 4 and they did not make it. And the purple player over here bid a 4 and also did not make it. If you don't make your bid, you're actually going to take your card and put it face down in the spot that it was. So this was a 4, that one was a 4. They're going to put that face down underneath here. That's going to add to the scoring for anyone who is there. So for example, if actually they were both 5s, let's slide that over here just for that example. That is going to be really good for the player, the red player, who was on the 5. How the scoring works is if you hit your bid, you're going to get 3 points. In addition, you're also going to get points depending on what is underneath the spot that you're at. If there's a card underneath the spot that you're at, that is 1 point per card. So the blue player over here got 2 points. If there's a trump card, the red dragon, that's actually 2 points. So the blue player got 2 points, the purple player also got 2 points. If there's a dropped torch, which is what these face down cards are, those are worth 2 points each. So the red player got 4 additional points. So red player got 3 for their bid and 4 for the drop torch for a total of 7 points. If it looked like this though, let's say 2 adventurers are on the same spot, they are actually going to split the points down here. They're still going to get their possible bid if they both bid 3, but they're going to split any points down here. So down here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's rounded down, so actually 4. So even though both these players got to this really juicy spot, they actually just get 2 points each, plus any possible for hitting their bid. So that was 1 round of Torchlit. Players are going to play 3 total rounds in a similar way. They're going to collect all these cards, reshuffle, redeal. They're going to put their adventurers back on the 0 space, and players are going to play similarly, and then whoever has the most points at the end of those 3 rounds wins. And that's how to play Torchlit. The deck in Draft Trick is 5 suits numbered 1 to 13, and you're going to use a suit per player. So we're going to play a 3-player game, so we're going to take out 2 of the suits. Here we have a game of Draft Trick set up for 3 players. So depending on the player count, you're going to include a certain number of suits, so a suit per player. You're going to shuffle, you'll deal them out fully to each player, so that's 13 cards, and then also you're going to choose big cards depending on the player count. So as you can see, we're going to use the 2, 3, and 5. These are going to be flipped face down, shuffled, and then each player is going to be dealt face up 1 of the bid cards. This is the number of tricks they're trying to hit exactly at the end of the round. Draft Trick is broken up into 2 phases. There's a card drafting phase, then a trick taking phase. So everyone is going to look at their cards, and they are going to pick a card and then pass their entire stack to the left. So once that happens, everyone's going to keep going around doing that. You're going to be building the hand of cards that you're going to have for the trick-taking phase. You're going to keep going until you get past 2 cards. And so when everyone has 2 cards left, they're going to look at those last 2 cards, and one of them is going to be a card they'll play into the final trick. They're going to put that face down underneath their card, and the last one is going to be a card that they put in for trump suit. Let's say everyone's done that. They've all picked their last card for the final trick. They've all drafted their hand, and they all put in 1 card for what trump will be. So it looks like by vast majority, it's going to be this beer mug suit. If it was maybe 2 greens and a beer mug, it would be green. It's just whatever has the majority. And if it was all tied, like if it was suit, 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 it's whoever the 5 person was, whoever has the 5 bid card, whatever their card they put in, that would be determined trump. After we determine what trump is, you can keep them out. That's what we like to do, so we remember what it is. So it's mugs. The dragon player will lead to the first trick. And so after this, it's actually just really simple must-follow game. So if they lead with the yellow goblet, the dwarf player over here has to play a goblet, so maybe they play that. And then the wizard also has to play a goblet. If they didn't, they could play whatever they want. It's just the highest of the lead suit that wins the trick. If there's a trump, it's highest of the trump suit. And players are just trying to hit their bid. So let's say fast forward past these 12 tricks, it comes to the end here, and it is this player's turn to lead the final trick. At the final trick, they are going to be playing the card that they put face down at the end, if you remember from like a minute ago during the niche. And then again, it would be highest of the lead suit, which was this player, and it's also trump, would win the final trick. And then you're gonna see if players hit their bids or not. If a player hit their bid, like if this dragon down here got 5, and their bid obviously was 5, they would win. And there can be multiple winners, there could be multiple losers, there could be where everyone loses, everyone can't win by the math, but that is how to play Draft Trick. So that is Torchlit and Draft Trick. Ooh, Melvin surprise. Let's cover these fast because the intro was very long. Draft Trick. Already a fast game, one hand, so clever. I think it's best at 3 or 4 because at 5 you include the 0 bid, which I think is just a little too easy to draft. And I love a little bit more tension where you have to get at least a trick. But some clever things in here. I think it's so smart to just give someone a bid and have them draft for it. That's so smart, it gets things moving. I also like that ending where when you get 2 cards in the draft, one of them has to be what you play in the final trick, and the other one has to be, you know, kind of what you are offering, or kind of a choice for trump. And the card that goes under that will be your last card played in the trick is so clever. It leads to such wild final tricks in the game. I've had someone think they had it and then they accidentally win, or think they didn't have it and they needed one more trick and then they win the last one because of their card at the end. Some wonderful moments for such a quick, slick game that still gives players agency. I mean, you're drafting your hand. It's filled with choices, but it's super quick and very clever in what it does. That is Draft Trick. Great job, John. And then we have Torchlit by David, which is first and foremost absolutely gorgeous. Just, I think my personal, I was gonna say my favorite art from any game at market, but there were a lot of really good ones, especially Gachapon Trick. Oh well, it looks gorgeous. That's that's all I'll say. But is the gameplay good? Yes, I think it is very interesting. There's a lot going on. There is some like a big mix of mechanics in here, but I do like the flow. I do like where it goes. I love that low cards help you set the value, and you can kind of do like a little bit choicing, a little bit bluffing when do you use those low cards. But then also high cards, you know, let you move forward. And how far do you want to go? I love when players make something juicy and kind of push everyone toward that spot, and then it kind of messes everyone over when they all go to that spot and have to share the winnings. So clever. Misbids, making it so you make other bids better is super clever. I think what's nice is that bid at the start and bid at the end. Wild, never seen that before. It is a little bit like bid as you go, and I think that's why I kind of flubbed it at the intro, because in essence it kind of is, because you're just saving a card for what you want at the end. But the fact that you do just bid at the start and at the end makes it so you're not terribly thinking about, you're not stressing too much about your bid, because it's almost like you're going for that first bid that you put down, and then if something goes wrong, you do have that, you know, somewhat flexibility in your hand. So super clever. I just think it's so fun when players choose how to set the game. I've talked about this a little bit before, where like in Shortzutsu, where if a player doesn't draw from their hand at all, or from their deck at all, they can choose to end the hand early. And I love that in this, where if players don't add certain numbers to the board, then that won't be as valuable. And so players are kind of setting the scoring in a super clever way. So cool, so fun. I think both these games are just like absolutely wonderful examples of the cool things you can do. I would recommend both. Definitely check them out. Shouts out to Indie Games. Thanks so much for watching. Again, so excited. Check out everyone else's trick-taking games, and there's more to come. Even though this is a short month, it will be jam-packed. Woo! Trick Takeaway. All right. Catch you later. Bye.